Welcome back to K.I.A. I'm Adam Reid. Thomas Jefferson once said, when an invention promises to be useful, it ought to be tried. And the debate lives on what is the greatest invention of all time. Some could say the internet. Of course, it's rendered this large world of ours a small village and made our lives so much more easy. So they say. So we took it to the streets of St. Hubert, Quebec to ask people what they thought was the greatest invention of all time. And the answers were surprising. Take a look. Okay, I'm here with
Eric.
Eric, nice to meet you, Eric. The top 10 list of the greatest inventions was just released, and they put the clock as #1. Do you agree with that? And what do you believe is the greatest invention of all time?
I don't agree at all that it's the clock. I would say it's the cell phone.
So, Mary, greatest invention of all time. Some people will say it's the clock. Some people will say it's the telephone, the internet, antibiotics. How would you determine the greatest invention of all time? Is it all about the functionality of it, or is it the way that it impacts our everyday life?
The way it impacts our everyday life.
Okay.
That's right.
All right, fair enough. My wife actually would turn around and say that the toilet is actually the best invention of all time, because she says without a toilet, I don't know if she'd be with me. Okay, would you say that it could be the telephone? How do you feel about telephone? It's also possible.
I'm always on it.
Is that right? In your opinion, what's the greatest invention of all time and why? Best invention, #1 invention of all time.
In this time.
In this time. What's the #1 invention in your opinion? Years, how old are you?
12.
You're 12 years old. You're 12 years old.
Yeah.
Wow, I feel old. All right, so I want to make sure I get this right. Over medication, over toilet and modern plumbing, over the phone, over the clocks, over printing press, over the television, over the internet, MSN Messenger is your #1 invention of all time. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes.
Beautiful, I love it. The next 50 years, the next 30 years, the next 40 years, science and technology is moving real quick. I mean, it's moving at a scary rate. Are you afraid about what the future holds, or are you excited about the possibilities of what new inventions are coming?
More scared than anything.
Okay.
In case it falls in wrong hands.
You're thinking hard about that one. The greatest invention of all time really is just an opinion. After all, the greatest invention is the one that ends up inventing us. Next week, we find out why a 100-ton boat will float, yet 3-ounce stone ends up sinking. Until next week, I'm Adam Reid, and we'll see you right here on K.I.A.